Stand here 25 centuries ago, and you would face a golden platform holding the richest, most feared empire the world had ever known. This was Persepolis, ceremonial heart of the mighty Achaemenid Persian Empire, built to awe every foreign ambassador who dared approach its gates. Before its final night of fire, this terrace of carved stone held staircases, throne halls, and treasuries beyond ordinary human imagination. Darius the Great chose this remote plain beneath the Kuh-e Rahmat mountains, far from rival cities, to build something meant to outlast empires. Construction began around 518 BCE, and it would continue for nearly a century, passing from Darius the Great to his son Xerxes and beyond him. Workers cut massive limestone blocks from nearby quarries, dragging them for miles across desert plains toward the slowly rising royal terrace. The stone platform itself rose 15 meters above the valley floor, a deliberate stage built for power that could be seen from miles away. Every single stone was fitted with such precision that even now, without any mortar at all, many ancient walls still stand defiantly upright. At the heart of the entire complex rose the Apadana, a vast audience hall large enough to hold 10,000 people gathered at a single moment. 36 towering columns, each nearly 20 meters tall, once supported a cedar roof shipped from the distant forests of Lebanon itself. Carved along the grand staircases were endless royal processions, delegates from 23 nations bringing tribute to their distant king. Egyptians, Ethiopians, Indians, and Scythians marched side by side in stone, frozen forever, climbing toward a throne none of them could see. Enormous bulls with human faces guarded the gate of all nations, watching silently over every foreign visitor who entered this sacred threshold. Nothing quite like it existed anywhere else on Earth, an entire city built purely to project the overwhelming majesty of Persian imperial power. Persepolis was never a capital for the daily business of rule, but a stage reserved for one extraordinary imperial event held every spring. During Nowruz, the Persian New Year, kings and governors from every corner of the empire arrived bearing lavish gifts for their distant emperor. Lions were led in beside horses, gold vessels carried beside spices, each careful gift a symbol of loyalty to the mighty King of Kings himself. The great king sat high upon a golden throne, shaded by servants holding parasols against the relentless heat of the desert afternoon sun. Music and burning incense filled the terrace, while thousands watched processions that had taken many long months of travel simply to arrive. For a few sacred days each year, Persepolis truly became the beating heart of the largest, most powerful empire humanity had ever assembled. Beyond ceremony and celebration, Persepolis anchored a vast administrative machine stretching from the Nile in Egypt to the edges of India. The royal road connected the city of Susa to distant Sardis, allowing messengers on relay horses to cross the entire empire within mere days. Clay tablets discovered here, record wages paid to laborers, rations given to travelers, and taxes flowing steadily in from every single province. Regional governors, called satraps, ruled distant territories, yet all of them reported back through networks converging on this royal terrace. Multiple languages echoed across these halls, from Old Persian to Elamite, Aramaic, and ancient Babylonian cuneiform script carved into clay. This was an empire that ruled through careful order and meticulous record-keeping as much as through the raw strength of its imperial armies. Behind the grand ceremonial halls sat the Treasury, storing gold, silver, and tribute gathered from across 3 entire continents of empire. Alexander's own historians later claimed the wealth stored here required thousands of mules and camels simply to carry it all away from the city. Silver coins, ornate weapons, and jeweled ceremonial vessels filled chambers guarded day and night by loyal hand-picked Persian royal soldiers. This immense wealth funded distant armies, grand monuments, and careful diplomacy, keeping the empire's furthest corners bound to the throne. To many outsiders arriving from distant lands, Persepolis was not just a city, but a living symbol of wealth so vast it seemed almost unreal. Thousands of laborers, craftsmen, and skilled artisans lived and worked in settlements that quietly surrounded the great ceremonial terrace. Stonemasons from Ionia, goldsmiths from Media, and sculptors from Egypt all contributed their skill toward a single, unified imperial vision. Surviving ration tablets reveal that women worked alongside men on this terrace, some even supervising teams and earning notably higher wages. Ordinary life continued quietly beneath all this grandeur, families raising children in the long shadow of towering imperial stone columns. Few of these humble workers would ever stand where kings once sat, yet their tired hands built every single column and every carved stone wall. Then in 334 BCE, a young Macedonian king crossed into Asia, determined to end the ancient empire that had once terrified all of mainland Greece. Alexander defeated Darius III in battle after brutal battle, driving his army ever deeper into the heart of Persia's ancient homeland. By 330 BCE, Persepolis finally lay open before him, its legendary treasury and palaces left almost entirely undefended against his advancing army. For several months his soldiers occupied the silent city, and for a time it genuinely seemed the great ceremonial terrace might simply survive. Then came the single night that would define Persepolis forever afterward, a night of wine, torches, fire, and sudden furious destruction. Ancient historians still disagree on the true cause, some claiming vengeance for Greece, others blaming a wild and drunken royal celebration. Flames spread quickly through the Apadana and the great throne halls, consuming ancient cedar beams that had proudly stood for generations. By the following morning, the ceremonial heart of the once mighty Persian Empire had been reduced entirely to blackened stone and drifting ash. Persepolis was never rebuilt as a functioning capital again, its grand terrace slowly buried beneath centuries of drifting desert silence. For nearly 2,000 years afterward, its broken columns stood largely forgotten, half swallowed by sand and fading local memory alone. Only in the modern era did archaeologists finally uncover the staircases, carvings, and halls that had been hidden beneath the desert dust. Today, the ancient reliefs still show endless delegations climbing toward a golden throne that vanished completely in a single night of fire. And yet, despite conquest, fire, and 2,000 years of desert silence, the remarkable story of Persepolis never truly fully came to an end. Its carved processions still march silently in stone, preserving an empire's pride long after its golden throne itself turned entirely to ash. If this journey through ancient Persia captivated you, subscribe now for more cinematic history brought vividly and carefully back to life. Tell us in the comments below which lost city or forgotten ancient empire you would like us to reconstruct together next time on this channel.